continuing from last night with Rival Turf. Today was supposed to be Monster Hunter Rise, but now that AGDQ has made its announcement for Pittsburgh on the next year, January 14th through the 21st, I do need to get the submissions set up so I can get some runs. Now, given my unlucky streak, I will probably not be running at the event unless I get insanely lucky. But I'm going to try, and if I don't, I'll just be going anywhere to visit some of my old friends. And good news is it's going to be live in person. So that is good news. So anyway, we're going to do an angry mode run with Nelson, aka Bild. Alright, let's go ahead and set up everything first before we do that. Then once we get done here, we're going to do Brawl Brothers. I'll probably submit some runs for that event. An any percent, then I'll do a Kazan, and then a slash runs. Just to see if people enjoy watching those. But yeah, if anyone just ignores the fact this channel is family friendly, even without the tag, I will not hesitate to boot people out of here. Let's just say someone decided to pretty much use some language that would not be very appropriate for this channel. Let me get some water started before we get started. I do need to make sure I focus mostly on commentary, so my apologies if I don't read your chat. Just to let everyone know that I will be, that I do know you are chatting. Alright, if you can see that message, you'll definitely know that I'm putting it out. So, anyway, we're going to be kicking off with Bild/Nelson, Angry Mode, any percent. Anyway, we're going to get started in 3, 2, 1, and go. So anyway, this game was released in 1992. Japan got it first, then the US. The only thing that's different about this mode, instead of doing no angry mode, is the fact that you have access to angry mode and everything. Slash does get a few perks. I mean, Nelson gets a few perks overall. We're going to be using the stone lock throughout the entire run. And just hope that none of the enemies break out of it. Ooh, we got a double hit. Let's go. Oh, did we take the other one out? Nope. He's definitely hiding in that corner. And he survived with a sliver of health. Anyway, so once we get through here, we gotta fight these guys and hopefully get through here pretty quickly. And once we beat all these enemies, we're going to go to the bus. My apologies for not saying anything. I'm trying to focus on the gameplay as well. But anyway, once we're on the bus, we do need to defeat the upcoming enemies. Yes, these punks have the audacity to actually attack us while we're riding on a bus. Now, if we were playing the Japanese version, we would have more background seats, in addition to the ones we see up in the upper areas. They probably didn't have enough time, unfortunately. Yeah, nice try, Skinny. In case he gets hit with a power bomb, but he's going to be safe for a few seconds before we can attack him. So we didn't get the ideal finish, unfortunately. Alright, so we do have this bush right here that's more stronger than the one we fought just now. Alright, so we took it down these guys. We're going to be moving on to the final part of stage 1. We do have to be careful though, because we do have a Goro coming out right after this. So each character receives a different power-up attack. With Slash, he gets like this added slash effect to his kick. And he can do his run attack becomes a full charge move, and his power bomb becomes a lifting power bomb, pretty much. Warrior's not going anywhere. Believe it or not, Warrior is actually probably a homage to the Ultimate Warrior, because Dingle Warrior is pretty much a reference to his old Indies name before he became famous in WWE. So we're gonna focus mostly on getting Mr. Genie to waste most of his health. And voila! We took down Genie pretty quickly. Alright, so Genie's gone. So we're moving on to stage 2. We do not want to be pressing start too quickly, or otherwise it'll freeze the screen. So we do have to be very careful when we transition to different parts of the game. Alright, that takes care of them. Ow! He smacked me with a kick! How dare he! I almost had them all without taking damage. But sometimes that doesn't always happen. So anyway, we're going to continue forward. Ow! He went for that cross-up. Alright, once we beat these guys, we get our first introduction to the Arnolds and Gigantes. Now, it's very hard to trigger the backwards jump. I should probably warn you right now. Black does have a more easier time pulling it off than Nelson does. Believe it or not, Nelson's name in Japan is Douglas Bild. For some odd reason, they changed his appearance in addition to his name, both this game and Brawl Brothers. So don't ask me as to why they did that, but it just is. Alright, we gotta wait for one more Skinny to come out. Let's give him the beatdown treatment, courtesy of the Neo-Fisco Police Department. Believe it or not, in the future, most of California is referred to as Neo-Frisco. And, of course, being the game called Russian Beat, this is basically focusing on police officers. Douglas Bild being one of them, and Rick Norton, who's also the main protagonist of the series, is also a street clothes detective. Darn it! I was supposed to grab him, and I failed on that attempt. But anyway, we get through stage 2 there, going on to the third part. Now, we do want to keep track of our special, because we want to keep our score right around 30 for 4-2. Get out of your case. Man, I got kicked. Yeah, I do have to be very careful when dealing with the martial artists, because these guys definitely do love to throw you around like a sack of potatoes. Come on. Come out of there. Well, that one did not cooperate, but that's just the breaks to the story, as they say. So anyway, we're going to come up to this part. Do this so we can slam this one here. Luckily, all we have to do is deal with that Kato. Now, of course, enemies can break out stun lock attempts, so you do have to be very careful when performing them on certain enemies. But other than most of the time, though, they will stay still, so that you can blast them and knock them down. So this is basically the run attack when performed on angry mode. Sadly, the back throws don't get any upgraded variations in angry mode. It's just the front throw, the chain attacks, and the run attack. Alright, so Sledge is not being very cooperative today. No surprise. Alright, so we're coming up against Sledge here. He's probably the easiest boss in the entire game. And we took him down pretty quickly as long as you stun lock him multiple times, but you do not want to be in the range of that flying elbow attack of his that he does. Does quite a hefty damage overall. So we're on stage 3, so we're going up against... the difficulty starts picking up pretty much here once we get to the second part. And thankfully we don't have to worry about that for right now, but the skinnies will hide out of balance for right now. Where are you, punk? Yeah, so that's how you throw projectile weapons with Bild here. He requires to be at least several planes above these guys in order to hit them. Oh, didn't know this one could throw dynamite. Yeah, this is the only time you'll get to see Joe Cow on this version, obviously. That was like literally censored in the world and US versions. Let's get rid of Case. Nice try, punks. Yeah, as long as you're not in the range of the dynamites, you're good. So we're going to come up to the last few enemies here. Now, sometimes your third hit might add more hits, but that's not always the case. Nice try, Gigane. Alright, we'll park our character right there, and then we're going to go straight into the left. With this left, we don't have to worry about fighting enemies, unlike most fighting games. Oh, Josh, thank you for the follow. Alright, so right now we're going to come up to this batch right here before we fight Slasher. Slasher kind of really amps up the difficulty by the time we fight him. So luckily these enemies aren't too tough, but you don't want to be falling for it. Oh, thank you! Alright, so continuing on, we're going to be, we got another wave to deal with after that. Alright, the skin goes down. Ooh, that was not bad there. Anyway, we're coming up to Slasher. We're going to try to get him in this position right here. Luckily, I was able to avoid getting hit by that Goro. Ooh, that's pretty nasty. Super Power Bomb time! Ooh, kicked me right in the face. Let's get out of there. Yeah, later on we do have to wipe out all of his minions in addition to Slasher. Alright, so we finished Stage 3. That's the last of the LA missions for this game. We'll be going to South America for the rest of the game. So moving on to Stage 4, we do need to have a score of 30 by the time we go to the second part of the stage. We're going to be triggering a warp zone. Those are still applied to even to angry mode. So we do have to watch out our score for the most part, because there's actually 2 warp zones that we can access once we get enough certain scores. Ah, I got thrown. Get out of here. Man, that Goro got sent flying. Alright, so we beat these guys. We're going to defeat the last bunch here. So if I don't have an even 30 by the time I finish, I'll just beat the enemies on the next screen and trigger the warp there. We do have to be careful with the dingoes because these guys can hit you pretty hard if you're not careful. Ooh, that's going to be a life loss there, unfortunately. So these guys really do hit pretty hard with their throws and their attacks. That huge delay strike is pretty much the high damaging move aside from the Fisherman's Suplex, pretty much. Ooh, not bad. Now we just gotta beat one more enemy and trigger the special. Alright, so to access the warp, we need a score of 30. So I'm going to trigger that special, which takes 5 points per use. And now that our score's at 30, we're going to go to this bonus stage and go to the next part. Now, when you go through these warp zones and defeat the statue, your health is refilled automatically when you come out. Now, sometimes this happens, but it doesn't always happen all the time. So anyway, moving on to this part, we're going to be avoiding using our special up until 5-2. We're going to need it to defeat 2 Reggies coming up in that part. So we're going to beat up these Reggies and Katos. Now we're coming up to one of the more difficult bosses of the game, Captain. If we do defeat his bullet, he will summon some new ones. We do not want that to happen, so we're going to have to rely on a more safer strat for right now, especially for a marathon safety in general. So as long as we don't wipe out Bullet, we're pretty much okay, and he won't call forth any more bullets to help him out. So if you see him rear back like that, that means he'll go for his boot attack, which does quite a bit of hefty damage. But the choke slam is your main worry because that costs almost 5 to 10 seconds. Even more if your character gets taken out with that move. Alright, that bullet really intercepted my path, but we finally beat him. So we're moving on to the pre-ultimate stage of the game, stage 5. We're in the harbor, so we're going to be fighting our way through here. Luckily, these skinnies are not very tough, Unfortunately, the last one got away before we can hit him. I was about to say, where is he? Yeah, line yourselves up, boys. Come on. So anyway, the Goros and Katos really do need to be treated a little bit more cautiously, since they can do that backwards jump kick. Not to mention, when you see them go for this jump kick, that means you got a safe opportunity to strike them when they finish the move, that is. You'll have to forgive me, talking's not one of my strong areas, but I am going to do the best I can to commentate. It is one of the things GDQ tends to look for when they bring all their runs to the event. Not to mention having very fast speed, that is. Woo-wee! Got them both. Nice. Oh, I went right into that fisherman suplex. But yeah, if you're wondering why there's a massive slowdown, it's because of that item that's in that crate. So we're going to use this hyper power bomb right here to do some hefty damage on these Arnolds. And unlike the normal power bomb, they're not invincible for a few seconds. So once you get through that, you're going to have to fight through 2 waves of enemies, namely this pack right here. Nice try, Reggie, but that's not going to happen. And then we got to fight the last 3 enemies here. Yeah, normally the power bomb is not a very good move to use, but if you time the move just right, you can basically protect yourself from enemies coming right at you when they decide to come right at you. Ooh, that was pretty nasty. Luckily it wasn't the stationary spin kick, otherwise we'd be screwed. Alright, so we're going to be moving on to this next part. We didn't use specials up until now, now we're going to activate them right here. Throw away this brick so we don't have lag. So all we have to do is just beat the skinnies and the bullet that emerges. So that skinny did get hit with splash throw damage, so... believe it or not, the last hit of your chain will always come off after once they hit the ground. I meant to do a forward jump, and that did not happen. So unfortunately, we now have some lag because of that wrench. Luckily, we don't have to worry about that, since most of the enemies went down. So we do have a few more points to rack up. Ah, I got flattened! There we go. Whew! Normally I'd have enough by that point. Almost missed that bonus round here. It's not really a bonus round, it's technically a warp zone, but believe it or not, there was actually 2 of them that were supposed to be introduced along with this and the one on stage 1 and final stage, pretty much. Unfortunately, they took that down before they finished the game, so... you can find that out on the cutting floor. It has a lot of behind-the-scenes info on a lot of games, mostly on the retro stuff, but it's definitely well worth looking it up. Oh, he grabbed me out of that? Here's a powerbomb for your troubles, sir! We're using that run attack to zip right through there. That saved us quite a bit of seconds there. Down goes that world. We do have to fight all these enemies, so once they get beaten, we're free to move forward. Yeah, nice try, Skitty. Nice try. Alright, let's move on to this part. The case here is pretty easy to defeat. And once we get through these enemies here, we'll be moving forward and we'll get a free chicken coming up from a crate. Now, we're attacking pretty fast to avoid having enemies breaking out of our chains. So if you're wondering why I'm mashing pretty fast, it's just to avoid that. Sometimes enemies will break out of it, of course. Skinnies can be pretty nasty if they decide to deliver those kicks. The second kick is actually pretty strong, believe it or not. The third one just whiffs in general. So we're moving on to this last punch. Okay, I don't know why that special did not work. But believe it or not, what I just did is an OTG that only works on certain attacks. So coming up is Iceman. We're going to use this strat right here. So it doesn't matter which side we need, we just need to do this. Then position our character on an upward plane. Unfortunately, I got too slow there, unfortunately. You can also attack him when he runs towards you like that. And that's a pretty good method to do that. But you want to go like this and punish him on any of his spin kick attacks. Believe it or not, this was discovered by Josh the Funk Dog. I discovered the method I use pretty much shortly after I got done recovering from illness. So that's how you fight Iceman. So if you had problems in the past, you can fight him now. Anyway, we're coming up to a boss rush here for the final stage of the game. So we'll be facing off Genie, Slasher, Iceman again, who we just defeated in the previous level. And we'll be also fighting Big Al, aka Kid Tark in the Japanese version. So that's 4 bosses we have to deal with. So far we're doing pretty darn well. We got 3 lives remaining. We got plenty of special to trigger. Yeah, you can always use these throws to protect yourselves as well. This game is very throw heavy. I should probably add right now. Alright, once we get through this pack, we're going to be taking on Genie again. We're going to try to stun lock him here. So we can force him to pick up that rib beer. Alright, he should be down. Nope. Normally he'd be down right around that point, but at least this time around we got him. But anyway, that's the strategy you want to be doing against him. You do need to keep an eye out for enemies coming at you. So we're moving on to the second part here. We got 2 skinnies and a case waiting for us. A dingo comes marching out afterwards. This is the last time we have to deal with Dingo, I might add. So once he's gone, we'll be dealing with warriors from here on out. This is like pretty much the last time we have to deal with these guys in general. Of course, Jellicoe's not really well known for a whole lot of games, unfortunately, but this is probably one of the more memorable ones, at least for me. Ow, that kick to the face. Yeah, we do want to watch out for these warriors because they love to go for spin kick mania here. Alright, so like I said before in the past, you do not want to be too aggressive because you will get punished pretty heavily for that if it comes down to that. So sometimes you might have to play a bit cautiously right here. Now we're coming up against Arnold's and Giganes. Ooh, that never happens. You can also mix up your specials with your chain. Okay, that was weird, but we got him. Anyway, we're coming up right here. This is the last batch of enemies we need to deal with before we fight Slasher again. Yeah, nice try, pals. You tried to dogpile me with that elbow, but you failed. So once we get through here, we'll be fighting Slasher. Unlike the first one, we do need to make sure we defeat all of the enemies that come out to assist him, pretty much. Alright, so we're coming up to Slasher 2. We gotta be very good at this. So this should drop his health quite nicely. Hopefully this just forces him to go for double press there. Alright, here we go. Angry mode time. Bring all your foes to me. That was pretty awesome there. So, believe it or not, we got plenty of specials, so we got enough to hold out for now. Anyway, one problem is that when you fight a Slasher here, you have to defeat all of his henchmen, otherwise you will not be able to advance. Which kind of stinks. Yeah, there goes the Goro. This is the last time we have to fight martial artists, thankfully. Fortunately, these enemies are pretty annoying. It's nice to have angry mode, but it would have been more nice if we didn't have to lose all that health. That would have been nice for Iceman. Speaking of Iceman, here he comes right now. Not gonna bother trying to set up some riskier strats for right now. Oh, he broke out of that. Darn it. Now, we want to beat him on the right because if we do that, we don't have to wait for him to waste time there. Stay on your side, Iceman. Darn it, didn't get that right position. But yeah, I'm trying to make sure Iceman stays on the right for the most part. We do need to have him in that position so we can move forward when he goes down. Ooh, that was pretty bad. 1cc might be in jeopardy here. Alright, perfect. That was very perfect indeed. We may have lost a life, but at least we got a good position to move forward. Ooh. Don't want to be losing health because we're coming up to Big Al after this last patch. So this is the last bunch of enemies we're going to be fighting in the game, pretty much. Woo! Got very lucky here. Very, very lucky. So anyway, we're now coming up to Big Al, aka Kintark in Japan. And we do have to play safe because the amount of damage we deal to him hastens his angry mode activation. So right now he's going for angry mode. And we're going to make sure he wastes most of his time triggering that. Yeah, normally he leaves pretty much. Alright, stay down, Butch. Yeah, he's pretty much mostly cheerleader here. Alright, so, Big Al's not that difficult of an opponent to fight, but when he goes into angry mode, you do have to watch out, pretty much. So anyway, we just wait for him to waste all of his anger mode, and he goes back to normal. You can definitely tell when he that happens when he does that. Alright, there we go. And time. 32:02, not bad.